Hello and welcome everyone as Atsushi Onita is making his way down the ring, looking on at one Terry Funk. In the early 90s, this is FMW, where barbed wire has replaced the ropes, and there are explosives as well. It's as though a schizophrenic madman dreamed up what is the most dangerous match of all time. And this was what he was able to concoct. And I believe that madman might be Onita himself. You can see he is taped up. The hands make sense. That seems like preemptive. But the shoulders is either another smart preemptive taping or to protect wounds that have already been had and not yet healed by Onita. But he is the kind of genius behind this all, and I'm assuming it is wounds because he has his forehead taped as well, and I'm assuming that was from a previous match that is not yet healed. But Terry Funk, we know him to be the crazy old guy who still puts everything on the line. But Onita is kind of someone that American audiences maybe aren't as familiar with for how death-defying he was, how influential he was in the name of hardcore. You could say deathmatch wrestling. I think this is the high art when it was breaking new ground and wasn't, it was done on a larger scale. And I understand that smaller companies are trying to contend with companies they just can't match funding with, right? So they push the envelope in other ways, and they use light tubes and whatnot, and it is crazy to see. I guess watching this match, maybe we'll have a better idea, but this is one that is well respected by fans, very well rated in terms of 90s matches on cagematch.com. It is one of the, I guess, top 250 matches, but I believe it's even within the top 100 matches of the 90s as rated by fans on that website. And I had to check it out. Frontier martial arts was something I wanted to see. I had caught probably all of, if not some of, the Dark Side of the Ring talking about Onita. I believe I watched all of it. And thought, well, this is pretty insane. And what was done for hardcore in the 90s was clearly a big deal, as it was very much the inception, and at least to me, or at least when it really took hold and was able to get some market capture. It wasn't just something whispered about. A lot of that probably because I'm an American, and ECW came to prominence in the 90s. But Japan was equally gaining some footing, finding that hardcore niche audience, and has matches that are in the top 100 of the 90s, which is insane. I was about to watch a other match of similar description between two women, and one of them I believe was retiring. And that is very cool. Very cool effect. And I don't know if there was much effect to that, as Onita looks quite literally burned on his shoulder. And Funk is trying to tear off that shirt. And I think he might have done that because the shirt was starting to melt into the skin of Onita. I could be wrong. And he's already torn up. This is crazy. ECW, they would do some crazy stuff like this too. I forget the name of the gimmick of the match, what it was called. I remember what the gimmick was, though, as they would tape their hands up, dip them in glue, and then put them into broken glass, which was just more crazy and just people buying into the gimmick more than it being like a terrific match on its own, because, I mean, you have to be extremely careful using your hands. Onita already has a cut on his arm. So this is shoot barbed wire, I presume. And I do think for American matches, they would at least turn the barbs outwards so that you would see, oh yeah, that's barbed wire. But it would be a little bit safer, and I don't know if it was like, I mean, this is like, I guess it is barbed. It doesn't look like razor wire. Although maybe the circular wire, oh my, jeez. And he is just leaning into it after the explosives. And yeah, he's going to be, yeah, this is pretty nutty. I have no qualms when it comes to hardcore, when it comes to, I guess you could even explain it as gory wrestling, but I haven't seen much FMW, so this is kind of the first time watching it, and I guess I want to see what it has to offer. Maybe the only one, if Funk versus Cactus in the hardcore tournament, the Tournament of Death, if that was FMW, that is probably the only FMW match I have seen. Although I might have watched some from the tournament itself, but I distinctly remember watching the final. But even if that isn't FMW, I think it was, even as a late teenager, early 20s, I thought the gimmick of Super Leatherface to be really, really cool, especially for a hardcore wrestler. I find that to be really cool. And this is, because who needs razor blades in your wrist tape to gig yourself when you got you got barbs around the ring that you can do it with? His Funk is just getting him ever so close to that barbed wire that, I mean, you gotta watch the eyes. At least from this angle, it's like, can't quite tell how close he is to it, how close his eye is. But yeah, there's just very, very little room for error, and a nice body drop there by Onita, who's bleeding from several places on his body. Arms, torso. Seems like his left arm is cut up pretty good. A nice thump there by Terry Funk. But yeah, I guess I'm used to the more reserved gimmick matches. Although the Hell in the Cell, I mean, there was some crazy stuff there. I definitely respect that match, and the TLC matches that, you know, the Hardys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudley Boys would have, where a lot of crazy stuff happened. But I have seen, and now Funk gets a taste of the barbed wire and explosion. I did see ECW do one of these matches without the explosives, just a barbed wire rope match with, I think it was Sabu and Funk, actually. Those are two of the more insane wrestlers who were on the ECW roster and were more than willing. And this is just great work by Funk. And it's crazy, absolutely bananas to think that he was someone who made an impact on so many companies. You know, even as like Chainsaw Charlie and his run with Cactus and then would just become Terry Funk eventually. What they did is tags and then singles in WWF, which is maybe the least impact he had on as far as what he was able to do for the company, but also maybe the biggest audience that he was exposed to, because this is prime Attitude Era where people were tuning in droves. But he would have the 5-star I Quit match against Flair and Crockett. Then he would have just like 5-star tag matches with Dory and All Japan. And then he's doing this in Frontier Marshall or FMW. It's impressive to look at the resume and say, you know, this guy stamped himself into the history books of wrestling in multiple different companies. And it was pretty much after the Territory Era was, you know, during but also post-Territory Era, which makes it, oh boy, holy shit. Yep. Oh, that is not the way I would want to fall into the barbed wire. And it seems like, honestly, oh shit. Oh my, I literally thought his hand had been just completely destroyed. He's gonna have to go in a different way. that entire section of the barbed wire is just, oh god. Just him holding his hand like that makes me think he did something horrific to it. Oh god, that was such a bad fall. I mean, cutting your hand is just... And then Terry, I guess, then the refs now making up. I don't. This is insanity, ladies and gentlemen. The fact that we get to watch it all these years later is just. This is near. Oh boy, 5 minutes until explosion. Terry looks worse for wear to fight Onita, being the one who. I don't know what he did to his hand, but now they're just swinging wildly. And this is insanity. He's going for the pin. Not enough. But yeah, FMW, they would do some insane stuff. I know that there was I think there was a match that was on a floating ring, and they said there was crocodiles in the water surrounding the floating ring, and there was like piranha death match. You got to give it to him for the gimmicks. I think they went even more insane than ECW did, and maybe to actual fans of FMW, you know. What this may lack in comparison to the All Japan Pro Wrestlings in terms of technical prowess, mat wrestling. For this match, maybe specifically high flying and the frequency of high impact maneuvers. I mean, this is not even a 10-minute match yet, and they are just pouring blood. So you got to give it a lot of credit for the drama as Terry Funk goes for the spinning toe hold, and Onita. He's nearly lost half of his hand, so I think at this point he's not going to quit, even if his foot gets taken off. So he kicks Funk, and it explodes again. And I legitimately, I mean, I know Cactus fell on some type of explosive device. Sounds like we're talking about freaking Warzone. And this basically is a war zone, but and that's where he got the. Oh boy! And Onita wins. Holy crap! The clock does not stop. The clock, even though Onita wins, the clock is still going. That ring is going to explode, and Funk is not going to let Onita off the hook that easily. But I know that Cactus got burned really bad. I think he came off the ladder onto a piece of like kind of a wooden board that had barbed wire and explosive on it. So it's like these ring ropes that have the explosives on the wire. Now Funk just going nuts and takes the helmet off of the ref, and then it's used as a weapon. And again, if these guys are not able to leave the ring, I mean, the ring is going to... It's not going to explode in that it's going to be like horrifically bad, but it's going to be pretty bad. And I forget what I was watching, but there was a match where there was a fire that was so bad that the flames almost started to tilt inwards towards the actual mat. And I wonder if it's this one, but they basically had to like get them out, like find a way to evacuate these wrestlers out of the ring because the flames were just so strong that it was really incredibly dangerous that they had even done that. And I wish I could think of who was even in that match. Maybe maybe we'll find it to be this match. And Onita, showing his benevolence, actually throws the man who is being the referee of this contest out of the ring as a way to kind of save him. And I think Onita is worse for wear and just saying the heck with it. I'm not going to be able to make it out. At least someone should. And Funk is twitching and... Oh, wait, Onita might be able to make it out, but Funk looks like there is no way he's going to be able to regain his senses in time and actually escape what is going to be probably a fireball here. And oh, wait, Onita's going back in. He's trying to wake Funk up like, hey, bud, I know we just had this death match, but you got to get the hell out. And there's two, and he is covering Funk up. And the explosions go. They fired sky high, and now it's just a ball of smoke. It's totally quiet. As I think the fans have no idea what the hell, if Onita or Funk are alive right now. But I think this is the drama that created something special, and that Onita was willing to save Funk, go back into what could be extremely bad news, and put life and limb on the line to protect Funk. So, cool match. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will catch you all on the Flippity Floop. Bye, y'all.